Oh.
Wow. Oh my God. Hey, what's up? It's Luis with America's Best Restaurants, and we travel the country coast to coast to find the places where you need to eat at on a weekly basis. And did you know that the best kept secret in Southern Indiana is in Sellersburg? Well, that's where we're here today, and we're at a restaurant called FaiDodos. I'm not gonna even tell you anything more, and we're gonna go find out what's so special about this restaurant.
Hey, Luis, how's it going? Welcome to FaiDodos.
It's going amazing. Who do we have here?
This is my mother, Michelle, aka Mama O.
Mama O.
O?
Mama O.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the last name, Odell?
Odell.
Okay, love it. What do we have here?
So these are buffalo chicken egg rolls, and a lot of it has to do with my mom here. It is her recipe, if you want to talk on that a little bit.
Well, I've made it for years for the kids. When they would come over, this is what they asked for. I took it to work one day, had some left over, brought it in here to the kids and said, do you want some of this? And they said, oh, let's make an egg roll out of this. They made a few modifications.
Yeah, we were doing our pepperoni pizza egg rolls, and we had the wrapper there and then the dip, and it was just kind of this back and forth light bulb moment.
Okay.
Right? We got to try this out. So we did, and it was instantly like, these are awesome.
And that's the story how we got in the menu.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Quick as that, yeah.
I gotta tell you, even before I try this, the restaurant's awesome. I can't wait to try all the food. And I looked at the menu a little bit. There's so many eclectic items.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning, and the fact that it just kind of came from that quote unquote happy accident.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, so you roll these in house, correct?
In hand, yeah,
so
by
these
hand.
are all made by hand in house. I mean, this is a monster. Look at this thing. Oh my God.
And we did the numbers. We crunched some numbers. I think the last time we checked, we were somewhere around about 14 or 15,000 egg rolls that we had rolled by hand in this place since we got open, which is pretty wild.
So that's important. These are not frozen. These are made by hand, one by one.
Correct.
In-house. Now this is ranch. You make this in-house?
Yeah, we do it in-house ranch. Yeah,
of course.
We're about a 95% scratch kitchen, so
Let's
there's
just
a
call
few
it
things
100.
that we do source out, but everything else we pretty much make everything in-house, which
Love
is
it.
really
You know what? Let's just round it up to 100.
100.
Let's round it up. You know, like we're playing math. Okay, so we're gonna dip this. Okay.
Go
They
for
can
it.
get messy. Go for it.
Go for it. Look, I've got napkins for you.
Flavor
You're good.
explosion.
Here we go.
Oh.
Wow. Oh my God.
Packs a punch.
That dip is amazing.
Yeah, the ranch goes really well with
the
it.
wrappers are great. It's got great crunch, but it's not super heavy. Oh my God. It's a winner.
It's good.
Oh my.
And the best thing, if you got an air fryer at home and you want to take them home and just reheat them, they reheat real well as well. So it's a good to go snack as well. Yeah.
This is outstanding. Beautiful buffalo flavor. That chicken's perfect. I'd say I love the wrapper. What is this sauce that on top that you put on there?
Just a red hot sauce. Yeah, just a nice drizzle for some presentation. A little
Yeah, it's
parsley
got a
on
little
there.
kick on it, and that ranch is magic.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, people ask us if we'll sell the ranch in like quart and gallon containers.
Really?
I would say like it. Yeah.
Really. This is outstanding.
Thank you.
It's outstanding. Okay, so if this is where we're starting, I'm probably going to need a pillow because I'm going to need to sleep here.
Yeah.
Right? So with that said, what are we going to be getting into today?
We're going to get into some burgers. We're going to get into some Philly cheesesteaks. We're going to go through how we build them, the different ways that a Philly cheesesteak can be prepared, along with some of our other items in the same way. So some loaded fries, all that kind of good stuff. It's going to be a fun time. The kitchen's where the magic happens.
Well, good. I'm glad I packed a couple pillows in the bag.
Yeah, you're going to need a nap afterwards.
This is going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Well, let's go in the kitchen. Let's go make a smash burger.
Yep, let's do it.
All right, awesome. All right, everybody. So now we are in the kitchen with my main man, Hunter.
What's up?
Hunter, what are we making?
We're making our smash burger today.
Smash burger, love it.
And fries, which you already have down over here. Let's check those out.
Okay.
See if they're looking. They're looking nice and crispy right now. Maybe another 30 seconds to a minute on those.
Fair enough, fair enough. So what's the first step? We got to put this in the toaster oven, right?
Yeah, so the first step, we're going to get our bun toasted here.
With this bun, boom, we're going to put it in the
Nice
toaster
brioche bun.
oven. Okay.
So you can go ahead and put that in there.
Okay.
All right.
Goes in for
That's
4
rolling.
minutes.
Yeah, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to get our patty out here.
Okay.
And we got our flat top already
Okay.
warmed up a little bit. So I'm gonna throw down a little bit of oil here.
Okay.
And then you can throw that right on top of that. We'll get that burger searing. And then from there, we'll take gloves off. Yep. We'll get some salt and pepper.
Boom. See that?
Boom.
Oh.
Magician.
There you go. Glove change.
Then we're gonna get a little salt and pepper, sprinkle that on there.
Salt and pepper. Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and give it a nice little smash with our spatula, get some of those fats and oils out. Yeah. Beautiful. Got a little bit of water here just to get some steam going. And then dome lid right there.
So now it's in the sauna.
It's in the sauna, it's warming up.
Okay.
We'll check the bun here.
Over a minute left.
A little bit let go
How
in
long
there.
does this cook for?
About 2 or 3 minutes on each side,
Okay.
so we can go ahead and
Flip
probably
it.
flip that baby over.
Okay.
Looking good. Push it down a little bit there. And then from there, we're gonna go over here and add our cheddar cheese and caramelized onions to it.
Okay.
So cheddar cheese here.
About that much?
Yep.
Okay.
They'll sit on top. They'll start melting really good.
Okay.
Awesome. And then the caramelized onions as well, about the same amount.
About that much?
A little less than that. They'll spread out on there pretty well.
That?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is that good?
Yep, looks good. And
Cool.
it goes back in the dome land.
Okay.
All right, and that's gonna hang out for a little bit. From this point, I would start checking our bun, look at our fries, see where we're at. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these fries salted and peppered up a little bit.
Cool.
So I'll grab a mixing bowl
Do that.
down here.
Let's see the technique.
This isn't the normal bowl that I use, but I think I got good technique.
Okay, all right,
So I
so
go with the one hand,
let's-
sprinkle it around.
Okay.
Got the one hand flip, and then I'll usually do the swirl and the flip as well.
Okay,
You know,
all right,
gotta
okay.
make sure all that stuff gets covered in there.
All right, cool. Let's move this
Yeah,
out
we can
of
get
the
that out of the way there.
All right.
So I just heard the timer go off on the toaster over there, so we
Yep.
can probably go ahead and get that bun out.
Okay. Yep.
So we're gonna get some fries, center this up a little bit here. Check on our burger. That's
That
looking
is
pretty
hot.
good. Yeah.
That's because I didn't put
That's
the glove on. I didn't put the glove on. Good job, Luis. All right. This
that
is
a-
why he laid this out.
Yeah.
I burned my hand. Okay, here we go.
What's
I'll
the-
sit behind the camera laughing.
Look at that. Look at this bun right here. Look at that toast on it. That's what you want on a nice nice bun right
That
there.
looks amazing.
Nice crispy side right here. The top and the bottom still really soft. So from here, we're gonna start building, all right? So we're gonna build this burger here. The first thing we're gonna start with is our Dodo sauce. Dodo sauce is like a horseradish sriracha aioli. So it's like a nice zesty sauce.
Okay.
It goes really, really well with burgers. It's also a good dipping sauce. We're gonna add some romaine lettuce on there.
Huh?
So just a nice little bottom layer for that patty to sit on. And the main reason that we have things like burgers and stuff, like we want to make sure, even though we do we're trying to bend the rules a little bit with our menu
Yeah.
and do some different stuff, we want to make sure that there's those normal safe items as well, like a
Okay.
chicken tender basket, a smash burger, but something good where it's not that fast food quality. You're getting
I
more
got
of a wholesome meal out of
So
it.
you
instead.
want the menu not only to have eclectic items, but
Yeah.
also be approachable as well.
Correct.
For the
Yeah.
people who might
Yeah.
not
You don't want it to be too
That makes
intimidating,
sense.
but you still want to give everybody a good
That
meal.
makes sense. That makes sense.
We're gonna add some crisp kosher pickle chips on there.
Okay. All right.
All right. I always say 3 is the perfect number for a burger. Our buns, that is a brioche bun. We get that from Legacy Bakery in New Albany.
Okay.
When we show the Philly later on, we also get our hoagie bread from
Okay,
them.
fantastic.
They're awesome people. They're great people. And one thing I really love about the cheddar cheese kind of falling off the side
Yeah.
is those little crispies that you get
Ooh.
on the flat top with it.
Ooh.
So there's that there.
Okay.
Get these off.
Yeah, let me do that because I want to check my injury.
Right here, we're gonna give it a little pat, just make sure everything's on there. But the
All right.
way you solidify it is with your pick right here, right
Okay.
through the middle. You got yourself a smash burger.
Okay, but now comes the best part.
You get to try it.
Now I get to try it.
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm fine. I kind of burned myself a little bit, but we're good. It's all good. All right. So how do I go and attack this?
I found the best way to do it. Take the pick out of there, smash it down a little bit so
Okay.
you can get a good bite.
Okay.
And then I eat burgers around, and then I save that last bite for the middle because I think that's the best bite. Yeah,
Okay.
every burger I do, that's how I do it, and I find that to be the most my favorite way
All
about
right,
it.
here we go. Ready?
Look at all that juice.
Wow. Mm.
And if it's not messy, you're doing something wrong.
This is super, super juicy. I like the crispness of the pickles. Like my face looks like a mess, but I don't care. This bread is amazing. I know I got some stuff. Austin signaling me off camera, whatever. The lettuce, the crunch, that patty is perfect, nice and juicy. That cheddar, man, and the onions, dude, and that sauce. That sauce
works
right
really
there.
well. Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God.
It's a good zesty sauce for it.
God.
And I was like, and I do that. Like once again, the bread. I always shout out Legacy as much as I can. I think anytime you're coming into a good sandwich, a good like a brioche bun for a burger is awesome, and they make such a good product.
And you know what? This bread is amazing because it holds up.
It holds up. Yeah.
One of the things that I don't like eating a burger is like when you bite it, it just falls apart.
Yeah.
Like this bread holds up. Austin, tight shot. Tight shot.
Look at that cheese drip down there. Oh my Lord.
It's unfair how good this is, man.
That's what I like to hear.
Oh my God. That's phenomenal. What do we got coming up next while I'm eating this?
We're going to do some Philly cheesesteak sandwich and also show the loaded fry version of that as well, which is one of my personal favorites.
Boom, that's coming up, but I'm going to eat this burger. See you in the next segment. And we're back. And now we have multiple interpretations. Have here?
The Philly cheesesteak.
Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have two different interpretations. My first question is why?
Just for sake of using more things in the kitchen to make more items.
Okay.
Just to be a little different, so that if you want something one way, you can try it that way. If you like it that way, then maybe you're feeling something different the other way, you can do that. Just to have it as a little, just a few more options for you.
But we got to try the classic first.
The classic
right?
first, always.
This is your interpretation of the Philly cheese.
Yeah, so
I
we
mean,
got
this
some
looks
green.
massive.
It's
I mean,
a
look at
big.
this thing.
It's a big sandwich. We got.
Where am I supposed to start here?
I don't know. Street
the
food's
ends?
messy. Wherever you can get in there.
Good point. Good point. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so we got red onions, green bell peppers. We do a house cheese sauce, a flat iron steak. And then also, once again, legacy bread. I think a good sandwich is all about good bread.
100%. That bread is perfect because it holds it.
Yeah.
That's a homemade cheese sauce, dude?
Yeah. It's a Parmesan, mozzarella, like heavy cream, garlic powder, onion powder, stuff like that. Melts down. It still has a little bit of texture of like you can get some of that, like you can feel some of the cheese in there, so it's not always melted all the way down like a smooth cheese sauce.
Well, I gotta tell you that the sandwich looks, it's gonna sound weird, right? But it looks very attractive because it's got the glistening of the peppers on
and
there,
yeah.
and everything, and the red onions.
And
Dude,
honestly, we used to put the
amazing.
peppers underneath the cheese, and I was
Really?
like, it's not letting them show enough. Yeah, you gotta have them sitting on top.
No, this is really the best way to do it. And I can really taste the Parmesan in the sauce. The vegetables are nice and crisp, and that meat is super, super juicy, man.
Yeah.
And this bread is this outstanding.
It really is. It's great stuff. Yeah, our the beef, we have it par cooked, and then as it sits, we leave it in beef broth, so it sits there and it doesn't dry out. I've had a lot of Phillies that have just been a very dry sandwich, and that's one thing where I went away from the traditional melting provolone on there and doing it that way. I wanted more of a sauce that had a liquid kind of base to it, and it allows it to be less of a dry sandwich because you got so much going on there. You know?
This is, of course, the other interpretation. The last interpretation, you can do like a salad, right?
And on the Philly is the only one we don't have a salad option on, actually.
Okay, so only two.
Yeah, so you got the loaded
Okay.
fry on the Philly and the sandwich with a side of fries. But the gyro, the chicken bacon ranch, the buffalo chicken, all of those have a salad option as well. But to do it with fries is definitely a unique way, and I think it's one of my favorite items on the menu for sure.
That's great, and these fries that you have are nice and
Yeah,
crisp.
they're made for loaded fries.
Oh my God,
they keep
dude.
their crunch. They don't get all soggy and whatnot.
Honestly, either way.
It works.
All right, so as we try this food, man, I want to get into your story.
Okay.
So, you were originally doing freelance videography, right?
Correct, yes.
And you were in Arizona.
Correct.
But you and I were talking off camera, and you were doing more work here where you're from than in Arizona.
Yeah. So I, for the like 8 or 9 months that I lived there, I was only in my apartment for about 25 to 30 days total. Like it was, I was constantly traveling around the country. I used to be a cheerleader here in Louisville, Kentucky for the university, and with that, it segued into working for another company for a bit, and doing event videography for them. And then when COVID happened, events and social atmospheres kind of ceased to exist for a little bit. So we left that for a little bit, and then yeah, I ended up moving back here, and this is my hometown, so I'm home.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, I mean, you know, the food we've had today is absolutely outstanding, and I was trying to understand originally when we first walked in, how did you get started? Because how do you go from being a videographer to a food guy, right?
Yeah.
But from what I understand, when you moved back, you were kind of sort of trying to figure out what to do, but you always had this dream of having a food truck. Is that
Correct,
right?
yeah.
Okay. So tell me about that.
Well, music has always been a big part of my life, and I would go to festivals and things like that. And I used to go to Canada quite a bit, and they had poutine. I love poutine. It's one of my favorite things in the world. If you don't know what poutine is, fries, brown gravy, cheese curds. You can't go wrong. And then also I like to throw bacon on mine. But when I moved back, I got into this idea of doing a food truck so I could put travel with, you know, food truck and music and do all this one thing together, you know? And as that started happening, my dad, he owns the building that we are in. And that was a big part of him saying, you know, well, instead of dumping all this money into a food truck, I have a spot, and either I'm going to sell it, or if you want to take a crack at it, here you go. And so it's kind of this opportunity that got presented to me a lot quicker than I even expected. Like this, I was starting to like look into 2 years down the road for this food truck thing. So it was like, went from a stretch to being this quick. It happened very quickly. So with that kind of was the original kickoff. I was like, well, poutine in Southern Indiana, I don't think a lot of people necessarily know what it is. And I didn't want to dive right into that and then have it, you know, open the doors and then close the doors because of miscommunication.
Sure.
So then I went with more of a, well, why not do, you can do poutine, but why not do a bunch of different kinds of loaded fries? And that was the original idea, was we were only going to do loaded fries. And then my mom was like, well, what if I don't want a bunch of fries? I was like, well, I guess you could do a sandwich option as it, you know, and then so that kind of got that. And she's like, well, what if I don't want bread and fries? I was like, well, some of these could be salads. And so this kind of idea of just being able to have different portions and whatnot prepared differently started happening. And I think that was where the idea really stemmed from, and called it kind of a street food, you know, stuff that goes with it, from food trucks, food fairs. When you're walking down roads a lot in other countries, things like that, you have street food. And it's just, it's a very leisure kind of place. I didn't want a place that was that super fine dining, you know, welcome to FaiDodos. We wanted it to be a hangout in a way. And I think street food and just a cool atmosphere go together really well.
Well, you know, it's interesting because when you and I were talking off camera, there was this catalyst, right, that brought you back to Sellersburg, which was COVID, right?
Yeah.
That when the whole world shut down, you're like, okay, what do I do now?
What do I do? Yeah.
And you came back home, and it's ironic because you were spending more time here while you were living in Arizona than even when you were here, you know, living. And this opportunity presented itself, and originally you told your dad no.
I said no a few times. Right? I was like, yeah, because I just didn't know. It's intimidating. That's all it is, you know. And I think a lot of people think that you need, you know, a business degree and you have to have this amount of years and whatnot. It's like I went into this very much a shot in the dark, being like, what can I do? And I believe in learning every day, not trying to prepare yourself to learn. And so it's like you take things and you learn from it as it happens. And ultimately, I think in the food service, treat customers well. If something goes wrong, see what you can do for them. If you can find something that'll make them happy, go with that. If not, you know, try to do better the next time. It's just working with people.
So let me ask you this: take me back from when it was COVID, and you're like, okay, I'm done. I'm going back home, and now your dad presents you this option. Take me back there. What was your thought process? What did you think when your dad said that?
I honestly, like I said, intimidation, I think, was the first thing. I think I was just like, no. And I kept saying it. And then I got to looking. Sellersburg, the town that we live in right now, is under development, which is really cool. Sellersburg, one of the biggest things that happened here was that when I was looking into the idea of this place, was there is a 10-year development plan going on. This is 2 years ago now. So this is right when it's starting. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it and I see all these plans that they have. And then, like, by definition, in a radius, we are exit 9 from Louisville, Kentucky. So a metro city is technically within 10 miles of a major city. So we're technically a metro city of Louisville. And our thing is, in this area, there just isn't much to do in entertainment as well. So, like, we're next to a Silver Creek, which is where I went. I graduated, went there all 12 years. You know, you got an elementary, a middle, and a high school. But there's really not much entertainment to do around this area. So you're always having to go down to Louisville. You're having to go to New Albany and Jeff, right by the river, you know? And we have, I mean, you can see this massive patio here. We got cornhole and games, and we have music and trivia and stuff like that. We wanted to create a place that brought entertainment and a family fun atmosphere to Sellersburg as well. And that's not just for us. You know, you have people to the north, you got Henryville and Borden, you have Charlestown over here, you got Salem. It's not always just like the people, we're not trying to pull Kentucky up to us. We're trying to give people from the north up here a little bit, instead of having to go all the way down, somewhere to come and hang out and have a good time. And that's why I say FaiDodos isn't it's not a restaurant. We're a hangout. We don't. We want to serve good food, but we want you to feel like you can come and have a social life here as well.
So essentially, you were filling a void that was missing in Sellersburg, right?
Yeah.
But then you were showing me off camera, you have a gigantic room that you're developing in the back, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
So the biggest thing about that, this place has been a few different bars in the last 10 years or so. And we had a giant parking lot that was across the street. It is no longer there, so the parking spaces aren't available to us. So we have to operate out of our small section right now. And that allowed us to have kind of a test run, which is what FaiDodos has been so far.
Right.
And if it seemed to go well, then we'll move into the backside. Now on the backside, there's a 25-foot bar. There's an 18 draft tap system. The kitchen's like 5 times the size. The dining room is like 6 times the size. We have a stage. We're wanting to build a beer garden. So my idea is in the future to have this place be kind of a music venue and bar in the later night hours. It'll be 21 and over sometimes, and we'll do all ages shows. But also continue to have that kind of family feel for the earlier parts of the night as well. So we're hitting, you know, you're getting the best of both worlds in a way.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So we're gonna have to come over to do
we got to do a part 2.
Episode, right?
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, where does the name come from? The name is very unique.
Yeah, FaiDodos. So like with the menu being what it is, I didn't want it to be something that the name says, you know, beans and rice. That means we're a place that serves beans and rice, you know? So I wanted it to be a name that was a little different, and FaiDodo is French. It means go night-night in French. It is singing lullabies to get kids to fall asleep. But when the French Cajun were in New Orleans, they coined that term around World War II, similar to how Texas has like a hoedown. Louisiana, New Orleans, they have the FaiDodo. So it's basically a Saturday night dance party. And in more slang term, it's like, hey, go sing your kids to sleep and then come to the party.
Come to the party.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where it comes from. New Orleans has always been a big city. I know that we have a New Orleans flair, so a lot of people think we're a Cajun restaurant. We have Cajun items, but we want to be more of an open concept restaurant. So New Orleans has always had a big spot in my heart. I think in the same way that I kind of feel like when you are in here, when you look everywhere, there's just something different going on. Anywhere you look in New Orleans, you're going to see something from the street entertainment, the buskers, the food, obviously Bourbon Street. Everybody loves that part of it. But there's so much that city offers once you get past that first initial tourist kind of thing. And me and my dad, like he used to own this place as a bar about 12 years ago. And when we were down there, we go and we get a beer at the same bar, and that's kind of like we take a photo in front of it each time.
That was the photo that you sent
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll take a photo, and it's just kind of a kickoff to our trip. And whenever we were finding out the name here, we called it FaiDodos. Me and my business partner Jesse thought it was cool. And we were looking up, and Facebook had brought up Facebook Memories a week after we talked about going with this name. And in the background, in neon sign, it said FaiDodo, and I was just like, yeah, this is perfect. I was like, that has to go with it. And I mean, I will say having the name that is, a lot of people mispronounce it. That's okay. We like to hear the different ways that people pronounce it. It's not, it doesn't have to mean anything specific, but it's just different. It's memorable. And like, obviously the dodo, we got the dodo bird. That's kind of like a mascot. I've always loved it. There is one thing I love that McDonald's did was the characters back in the day, like the Hamburglar and stuff like that. So we do have our skeleton guy on the wall. We have our dodo bird. We plan to keep bringing characters into this as well, which is pretty fun for us. So.
That's awesome. So what's the future hold?
A lot, I'm hoping. Obviously, we're just really excited. I'm working on remodeling the back right now, and I think that's my biggest thing. Obviously, the inside has a lot of artwork done in there. I did all that, all the lighting, all the table work, all the painting, all the chalk work. I was in here for about 8 months before we opened, just kind of staring at white walls, trying to figure out what to do. And now that this place is running, I'm doing that again, but in a much larger section. And we already have some ideas of how we want to pull some stuff off. So that's kind of the next endeavor for us right now. But eventually we'll get rid of the side that is FaiDodos right now. That's going to get demolished. So it's kind of fun to let people be part of this part of it. And eventually that won't exist anymore, and it'll all be the back restaurant. But overall, it's just it's a kind of a ball that we're just going to kind of keep trying to roll and ride this wave as long as we can, you know?
Love it. Awesome. Well, we can't wait for part 2.
I can't have you leave without trying my mom's banana pudding. It is her recipe. It has become a staple of FaiDodos at this point.
This is not really my special recipe. This is my father's special recipe.
Oh, even further. All right.
The funny thing about this is when I said to Hunter, let me make banana pudding for you, because I've made it for my family forever and ever. And I said, let me make banana pudding. At least it's something you don't have to fry. And he's like, nobody is going to want banana pudding.
I didn't realize how big of a commodity it
And
was.
now we have a couple people that'll come in and buy whatever's in the box.
Yeah, if we got 12 down there, they're like, we'll take all 12.
Yeah.
And they buy them all.
Okay,
So
all right.
and I tell Hunter to put on there, I can do a family size. You just let me know when you need it and we'll get it ready. And so
Okay, here we go. Oh my God, this is dense.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like a cheesecake. It's good stuff. On the bottom there, you got bananas down there and vanilla wafers too, so you get some
Oh
texture.
my God, look at
And
this.
every now and then we'll do peanut butter or nutter butter, peanut butter sandwich cookies as the bottom instead of, we'll call those the Elvis banana pudding.
Yeah, they're good.
This should be illegal. Can we call 911?
Some of the best
Oh
banana
my
pudding
God,
I've
this
ever
is
had.
outstanding.
I guess I've just been like spoiled my entire life because this is
yes.
just the only banana pudding I know because that's
Okay,
what she makes.
I'm coming over on Sunday. It's happening.
Family dinner.
Yeah, family dinner.
I
we
love it. Well, look, this has been an amazing experience. Look, you can find them on americasbestrestaurants.com. I'm gonna tell you right now, 1000% certified legit. That's it for us. I'm gonna eat all this. I'm not sharing. Sorry, Austin. Wanna see you guys on the next one. Oh my God, it's so good.